Hello, dear students. How are you all? Hope you are all fine and enjoying your studies at home, preparing for the exams, right? And in the last video, my dear students, we started ninth chapter, Blackwood House, and that is really a dangerous story. In that story, as I explained you in the first video, that Mr. Cooper is an estate agent, and Dr. Norton is a soldier after all, and he wants to buy the house. And he goes to the office of Cooper, and he is asking for a cheap house, not that much costly house, right? So he also told that if the house is worth 2,000 pounds, he is ready to purchase it. But when Cooper says that there is a house and that house is worth 1,000 pounds, the price of the house is 1,000 pounds, and there is a doubt why the price is so low, right? And he shows the reason for that. That the that but Dr. Dr. Norton has a doubt that is there any terrible thing. So Cooper says that no, actually it is in a good condition, but there is a story about that the owner, Mrs. Worley, died in the house, and she was an unhappy woman, right? And she loved that house very much, right? So after her death, every night she used to come there, and actually 2 years passed after her death, but still at night she comes with white dress, and people call this visitor a white visitor, right? And because of that the price is too low, up to 1,000 pounds, right? But Dr. Norton is not getting afraid of that. He also told that he is not believing in all these things, he does not believe in all these things. And he also told that he wanted to see the house. So that was the last up to last story that we learnt in first scene. Now here is the second scene now. And what is the scene? The same office an hour later, right? So an hour later, the same office is there. Dr. Norton and Mr. Cooper walk in and sit down. Both are there and both are sitting down. Now Norton says, well, I like the house. It's big enough for me and it's in a very good place. He also visited the house and thought that it was a very good house and he wanted to purchase it. He was ready to purchase and it was in a good place. Cooper says, don't buy it. Cooper denied. See, he refused. Don't buy it. If you do, you will be sorry. I have another house, right? If you will buy this, you will really feel you will repent then. So don't buy it, right? I have one another house. Norton says, how much is it? What is the price of that house? Cooper says, 6,000 pounds. Oh, that is too much, right? So Cooper says that 6,000 pounds, because he told Dr. Norton says that he wanted to purchase the house that should be worth 2,000 pounds, right? He could afford that only. So Norton says, now this was the price of 6,000 pounds. Norton says, well, I can't afford it, so I can't purchase it. I'll buy Blackwood House. Who is the owner, right? He wanted to buy only Blackwood House, and he's asking who is the owner. Cooper says, Mr. Worley, Miss Worley's brother, right? Who was Mr. Worley? Miss Worley's brother. But you ought to find another house. There's a house on Pool Road, right? He told that there is one more house on Pool Road, right? And who is Mr. Worley? Miss Worley's brother is the owner of the house, right? So you are not supposed to buy that house, but right? You have to buy one another house that is on Pool Road. Norton said, I don't want it. He denied for that I want only this house, haunted house, right? I don't want to purchase any other house. Cooper says, listen, Dr. Norton, Suppose you buy Blackwood House, right? He shows the reason. If you are buying that house, then in the middle of the night, right? That means at 12 o'clock in the middle of the night, every night, the white visitor comes into your bedroom, right? So he told that white visitor comes, and he told that the white visitor will come into your bedroom just when the clock strikes 12. And it will be the timing of 12 p.m. Clock strikes 12 and the white visitor come to your bedroom. Will you like it? Right? Will you like it? Will you love it? Will you love this house? Will you be happy there? You will get afraid and you will frightened. Every day white visitor will come at 12 o'clock. So how will you do then? What will you do then? He's asking. Page 104. Turn the page. Look at the book. Now Norton says, I don't believe the stories, right? I don't believe in this kind of haunted stories, he says. Cooper says, well, don't come back to me later and say that I didn't warn you. Don't say that I didn't give you any warning. Right? I'm warning you. Don't go to that house. A white visitor comes every day, every night. Right? And it is very dangerous. Suppose you can't sleep there. What will you do? Suppose you are unable to sleep every night. Then what will you do? Cooper says. Right? Norton says, sell it. Right? I'll sell it if I would not like over there. Right? What I'll do? I'll sell it. Cooper says, my dear sir, think. Right? Everyone here will know that you have bought Blackwood House. Right? Everyone will come to know that you have purchased Blackwood House because everybody knows about that every night a white visitor come to that house, right? They'll also know that you want to sell it after you have been there a week, right? Everybody will tell you that 1 week you stayed over there. Then they will come to know that the house is haunted and they would like to know the reason, right? Why you are selling after 1 week, right? They want to know why. If you don't tell them, they all know that you have seen the white visitor, right? If you will tell them to sell, then definitely they will ask because they all know that white visitor comes every night over there because they know, and they will ask you that within 1 week, why do you want to sell it? No one will give you a pound for Blackwood House after that. After that, you will not get a single pound for this Blackwood haunted house. Now, this house on Pool Road. Now he is telling about another house. You want to purchase the house on Pool Road? Leave this house. Don't think about Blackwood House. I'll show you about another house that is on Pool Road. Norton says, okay. Uh, Norton says, will Mr. Worley let me sleep in Blackwood House for one night before I buy it? What he says? That I want to buy this house. But before buying this house, Worley should allow me to sleep in Blackwood House for one night. So he wanted to sleep in that house for one night. He's so brave. He is not getting afraid of all these things. He also told that I don't believe in all these things. Right? So he wanted to sleep in that house for one night. Cooper says, I don't know, but it's not the house for you. For you. Once again he says that I don't know whether Mr. Worley will allow you to sleep for one night in that house. I don't know. But it's not the house for you because this is a dangerous house. This is a haunted house. And if you will be over there, definitely something wrong will be there. Norton says, please write and ask me. Once again, Norton says to Cooper, that please, he is requesting that write and ask Mr. Worley, because I want to purchase that house, because that house is very cheap and I'm not getting afraid of these kind of stories. If he is ready to let me do that, if he is allowing me to sleep in Blackwood House for one night, because people say that every night white visitor comes, and Mr. Norton, Dr. Norton is not getting afraid of all kinds of these stories. So he told Mr. Cooper that definitely I'll leave one night in that house, and for that I want the permission of Mr. Worley, and you have to do this work. You have to get the permission for me to sleep one night in Blackwood House. I'll spend Tuesday night there, right? So he wanted to spend one Tuesday night over there so that he could come to know that who is the white visitor, who is coming there. Cooper says, "Where will you sleep?" There are no beds in the house because the house was vacant and there was no furniture. So Mr. Cooper is asking to Norton, right? That where will you sleep? There are no beds in the house because you need to sleep something. So if the house is vacant, so nothing is there, no furniture is there, then how will you sleep? There are no beds in the house. Norton says, I am an old soldier, right? Before this I was in army, and I am an old soldier. I have a small bed that I used in the war. During war, I used to sleep in a small bed, and I am having that bed with me. I'll take it with me on the house on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, I'll go there, and I would like to take that bed with me, and I would like to sleep on that bed on Tuesday night. Cooper says, there isn't any light there because nobody is there, nobody lives there, so there would be no electricity, there would be no light. Do you want to spend a night in that house without a light? Though there is no light, how would you pass your time without lighting? Right? So he's asking that what will you do? How will you spend your night in that house in the dark? No, no, my dear sir. Right? So once again, Cooper says to change his decision. Right? There is no bed, there is no light. Okay. So in the beginning also he told him that you purchase a house on Pool Road. Don't purchase a house here, this Blackwood House, because white visitor every night comes to the Blackwood House. So you are not supposed to do. Once again, he wants that he should change his decision, that you don't go there, right? Norton says, I have a small lamp, right? He has determined his mind that I would go over there and see who is the white visitor. Norton says, I have a small lamp. I'll use that, right? And that small lamp I'll use. Now, please write to Mr. Worley and ask him, right? Now he is forcing Mr. Cooper, right? That he has to write Mr. Worley and ask him about my visit for one night on Tuesday. So he wanted to pass his one night with his own bed that he was having when he was in the war, and that was a small bed, and he was also having a lamp that he can use at the Blackwood House. Okay, so I have a small lamp. I'll use that. Now please write to Mr. Worley and ask him. Cooper says, well, I'll write if you wish. If you say, definitely I'll ask to Mr. Worley. But I don't like this. Once again, Mr. Cooper says, and he says to Dr. Norton, that I don't like that you go to that house, Blackwood, right? Though you know that it is a haunted house, there is something dangerous, even then you want to go over there. I don't like it at all, right? So I'm not at all willing that you go or there, right? Now scene 3 will be there better, but first you understand this dialogues, and then we'll in the next video we'll go to scene 3. Now in this scene what happened, that Mr. Norton wants to purchase that house that is worth 1,000 pounds, right? So once again he goes to the office of Mr. Cooper's office, and he tells him that he wants to buy that only Blackwood house. But here all the times he says that you are not supposed to buy. I'll show you one another house in on the Pool Road. You are not supposed to buy this haunted house. But he says that no, you tell Mr. Varley about that I wanted to purchase that house, and I want to buy one night in this house, one Tuesday night, right? And once again he gives the reason not to pass the night, that you are not having any bed, there is not any bed in the house, there is no light in the house. But once again he wants to stay over there, right? He tells to Mr. Cooper that he is also having one small bed. When he was in the war, he had a bed, and he also has had a lamp. Both the things he was having, and he wanted to buy the night in this haunted house. So once again, he is ready to pass the Tuesday night and wanted to see the white visitor, right? So in the third scene, let us go for the third video. Okay, my dear students, learn this also well, and try to understand all the dialogues, why how the dialogues are connected with one another, right? And what dialogues is either Norton or Cooper speaks, and what they what they want to say, that you have to understand, and you have to read up to here. And the same thing I would like to give you, that you have to find some words, and those words or phrases you have to, maximum words and phrases you have to find, and you have to write the sentences yourself. Okay, now for the scene 3 we are meeting in the next video. Goodbye.